So it's so good for us just to get out. As good as ugly as things are sometimes, or as good as they look, it's just good to play against somebody else and see with real officials and get there with them. Please do not observe, and I always reserve myself this time to watch the video at length so that we can just teach now and grow so it was you know, they have almost their whole team back from last year that is growing too, and they were very solid defensively. And our kids learn that I don't care who you're playing, you got to execute. The ball can't stick. You got to move. So our 90 points was created by turnovers. It was not created as much in half-court offense. We got to get better in our half-court offense.
Ethan, you want to start us off?
John, what went into the decision to start Iggy, and what did you see from
him? You know, we went through most of our preseason. Isaiah Livers was not able to practice a lot. So we got into a rhythm, and then all of a sudden he was there like 1 week beforehand. We just stuck with him, and he really, in our scrimmage and everything like that, as a sixth man, I wanted him to transcend to the three-man as well. And so as a sixth man, I wanted to learn all the positions. And so Iggy's played really well. Our leading scorer, leading rebounder in Europe, he's a pretty good player. And Isaiah is a team guy, and he'll fill that role well. But that's just for this. We'll wait and see what happens Tuesday.
Down in front of Josh.
My question was kind of already answered, but how do you think Isaiah kind of responded to that role change? You know,
I mean, the same way he did last year. You know, when he was virtually at the end, he was a starter in name only, and we'd get Duncan in there, and then he'd fill his role. So he may play more minutes. I think in our scrimmage, he might have played more minutes than anybody in the scrimmage. So he gives us this, you know, presence defensively, et cetera, where he's talking, he's doing some things. But we also have other needs on offense that I thought we needed to fill with Iggy.
Right down in front over here.
Coach Beilein, I know tonight's game was a blowout, but is there anything you want your team to improve on before you play Norfolk State opening night in a game that actually
I want to see the video more why there were so many offensive rebounds, and some of them were just like the ball was just, it was funky, the ball was going all over the place. But we have to be, you know, we got to get 50-50s better. And I blame that on myself. I blame that our scout team does not crash the boards as hard as the Big Ten will, and I got to get them to do that. So there's a lot of things, you know, that we have to clean up. But I didn't like the number of extra possessions. I do like that the three-point shooting team only got, 11 threes or 13 threes off, and one of them was, one of their makes was when we had gone to the deep bench where our guys are still learning to play. So that would probably be one of the other things. And then the ball stuck several times today. And that's always going to happen. It's always going to happen. We just got to do it less and less every game.
Stay here with Jacob.
What do you think is the next step for Iggy on offense?
For Iggy?
Yeah.
I think probably get comfortable with all the calls that are coming his way. And that's another, you know, he'll play both positions. But, you know, he's got, you know, I hated it when I think we had a foul call and he hit a three. And, you know, we just, he can shoot the ball really well. I think we just got to make him in games and become that real triple threat player, because when he goes downhill, he's ambidextrous. Either hand, he's going to finish with either hand. So the next step is to slow down, have the threat of a jump shot, which he really has. He just hasn't done it yet in any of these games anybody's seen.
Chris?
7 assists for Jordan. Is that a pretty good start? And what you
yeah,
like to see?
it is. He's grown in some areas, and you know, what he's really been receptive is being coached up here, but he'll go to what I don't want him to lose this hunting mentality. I don't want Charles to stop hunting. I don't want Iggy to stop hunting. Those are three like primary hunters, but they gotta learn when okay, this is not going to work. Just move the ball. And so, but I did like that with him getting those type of assists. Overall, our assists, Xavier obviously was good. Xavier had a bunch of steals.
And then Teskey's three, is that something he's got the green light to take now?
we want him to shoot those. Yep. We do want him to shoot those. So, you know, I thought John was just okay today. John's got to rebound the ball better than he's rebounded, and he can't. You got to be more assertive. He's not a backup center anymore, and he played like a backup center a couple times, and that's not the role he's got to have.
Over there with Andrew.
Coach, when you do watch the tape, what are some things that are sort of opponent independent, I guess, that, you know, don't matter, that you can look from your team to see whether it was good or bad, regardless of what they were doing?
Well, the one would be boxing out. And I mean, are we really making an attempt at? We had 2 illegal box outs, so those are things we're going to have. Does it look to it though? You can't hear it. What was our communication like with things? I mean, we did hold them to some points, and they had some. They figured ways to score some points at different times. And then offensively, I don't care who you guard. You know, they did some different things with the ball screen, and all of a sudden it was my turn, and I don't think we hardly scored ever. When somebody said, okay, they did this, now just move the ball ahead and we cross and said, I'm going to make my own. I don't think we ever scored at all. We had 4 charges in the first half, 4. Where those are things that, and I don't care who you're playing, you just can't drive into people.
Stay there with Zach.
John, what you mentioned the half-court offense, weren't necessarily happy with it very much tonight. What is there a commonality, a common theme that maybe wasn't working the way you were hoping?
Yeah, I think that I'll watch video more. We got to cut harder. We got to set better screens. We got to throw better passes. So I basically sit there and watch the video or watch the game, and then I said, all right, I know I'm going to see that tomorrow, and then we teach from it. But that's just the ball's just got to move a little bit better than it did today. And we scored 90 points, but I said it wasn't. It was a whole bunch of, nobody's got good transition defense for a turnover, and they turned it over, 16 times or something.
Back over here with Ethan.
Coach, was there any particular reason you scheduled Northwood? Could have scheduled anybody? Do they run sets you like to see? Or
no, it was. We've tried to. Yesterday, I answered this question that, with the exception of bringing Cassie Russell back, repaying Lemoyne for when they play us, and we had a Slippery Rock game. We've stayed in state, and we've tried to play a lot of different people. I think the only one we played twice maybe is Wayne. So we had never played Northwood. A good program. One of my former managers is assistant up there. They had almost everybody back but one guy, so it was just seemed to be a good matchup.
Back in front with Josh.
Were you happy with the amount of 3-pointers your team shot today?
Yeah, we'll probably diminish that. I said that when we were 0 for 5 or something the first half till Eli hit that. I said, we would have taken 12 by now last year. So yeah, I don't think you're going to see it as much, but we got some guys with really quick first steps. So, but at the same time, we came out with good numbers. So we're going to continue to grow in those areas without question. We've been really shooting it well in practice, but the volume guys, we don't have the volume guys we've had. And I said before, Muhammad was never a volume guy. It took him years to acquire that trait, where Duncan came out of the womb shooting, and Mo did as well. So none of these guys that we have except Jordan Poole probably had that mentality walking in, and we just got to, as they learn the game and learn what's a good shot for them, but also it's got to be a good shot for Michigan.
We got time for a couple more. We'll go with Teo.
John, you talked about wanting John Teskey to be more assertive.
Yeah.
How do you balance that with also wanting him to stay out of foul trouble? Because he had 3 fouls pretty early today.
Some of his fouls are like just one's of posture and stance, he's the thing we really have to work with him in Austin right now. Is they got to play bigger than they're playing off the backboard, and they know it. They absolutely know it, and they got to play bigger than that. We can't exist in the Big Ten, right? If they're not getting more. A little bit like when Mo was younger as well. Right? We just got to find it. And all of a sudden, Mo had found the knack for it. We got to make sure that happens. But I think he's learning what's a foul. Austin has the exact same issue, right? Of how to have verticality, how to be aggressive without fouling.
Chris, you want to close us out?
What'd you like about Eli's minutes tonight?
He's just solid. I mean, he was just solid, and he's had a good camp. He had a good summer. He's just solid. I can just count on him to play probably more like a junior would play, even though because he just really picks up things very quickly, and that's been really helpful. Because Davis really had some good minutes in practice as well, but Eli right now is a better choice for us to be that first guard off the bench because he just makes us better, just like he did last year at the beginning of the year. All right, let's go.